2, 1.
Play. Hey guys, welcome to another audio commentary, another dual audio commentary, this time with Diggity and Cyreaver. Special welcome to Cyreaver.
Hiya.
Yeah, it's awesome. You guys should definitely check him out. I think this is the first time he's going to be on Vilatech, but if you go to Cyreaver, is it Cyreaver, just Cyreaver, or is it
It's Psionic Reaver, and
on?
I use a Y instead of an I in the Psionic part. So Psionic
There you go.
Reaver.
Anyway, I have him subscribed, so if you check my subscriptions list, I'm sure you'll find it. And it looks like NaDa, man, I can't believe it. I think we missed the colors already, but I think NaDa, it looks like he was in purple. And I think mine is in the bottom left-hand corner in blue. So, yeah, now that it's bringing up, it looks like, shoot, I can't read Korean, so we might have to restart this. No, there we go, haha! They have their faces coming up on the screen to tell us. So it looks like mine, yeah, is in fact in purple. NaDa is in the bottom left-hand corner in blue. So this is Loki II. Keep in mind it's the map with the natural expansion and the protected expansion, but more important, what I really want to get to really fast is the relationship between these two players. This is very reminiscent of Boxer versus UV, where Boxer essentially was kind of the master who brought UV under his wings and created a champion out of him. They were both on SKT1. And now we have kind of the We Made Fox. It's the former champion NaDa, who's, I think he's the only player with a golden mouse, has won 5 championships across OSL and MSL play. And he brought Mind into the fold and taught him his ways. And Mind, now the MSL championship, defending MSL champion, and we'll see how far he goes in this series. And still trying to prove himself, because usually you win one MSL, that's one thing, but because like anyone can win one MSL is kind of the feeling. Silver did it. A couple other players are like, oh, fluke. Go Rush did it, and he doesn't get as much respect as I
Jaedong
think
did
he
it.
deserves. Jaedong did it. Jaedong hasn't done it yet. Jaedong won the OSL.
That's
Which tends
right.
to be a little bit more prestigious. But anyway, point being, this is like, it's big for both players. Not a old player trying to get back into it, now has to face his pupil, who is now the master, in Mind. And just, yeah, it's going to be freaking awesome. So very intense, and it's almost kind of bittersweet between these two guys. Looks like both going for a pretty standard build, putting down the gas, going straight to factory.
Yeah, one thing about turn versus turn matchups I've come to notice, especially with the game between C and Light that I did, is the very beginning part of the game is pretty much, unless someone cheeses, it's usually pretty slow getting started. But I'm really excited to see this game because these are the two best Terran players pretty much out there, excluding the Emperor, of course. And we see actually a factor going down now for Mind was purple, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we see a factor going down for Mind here, and we see the factory also going down for NaDa. And NaDa actually built a Marine, which I wonder if he's using that for Marine or to keep that SCV away. Because I thought just having SCV on the ramp would be good enough, but I guess he just wants extra security of Mind not knowing what he's up to.
I'm sorry, actually, it's not as in. Yeah, no, that's right. Mind is blue, NaDa is purple.
Well,
In
thanks
order
a
to kind of
lot,
pull out
Diggity.
one. Yeah, I know. No, it's happening again with the screw up of the names. That's fine. Uh, I think we had a dual commentary a while ago with Combat where we also had the colors screwed up. And I think it was Moldtrap that came in and ended up screwing up the colors for us. But yeah, I'm pretty sure, because I know Mind won game 1, and as you can see, it's got that tick where on the right-hand side towards the blue player, therefore Mind is in fact blue and NaDa is in fact
Oh,
purple.
you're right. So yes, okay. So whatever I just said, reverse the colors.
Awesome. So anyway, getting back getting back to the match, looks like we see a fast expand from both players. Without
And NaDa actually saw that. He
Yeah.
saw that with his SCV, but Mind has no idea that NaDa's expanding.
So in the meantime, looks
I
like a
love
machine
that
shop.
tie. He
Yeah,
always wears that tie, and I love it.
nice hat too. And like, I wonder what they're drinking actually. Is that just like straight OJ or what? They're wow, focusing on these guys for a really long time. Okay, and a machine shop down on this side. It doesn't look like we've actually seen anything aside from SCVs produced on both sides though. In the meantime, it looks like yeah, NaDa's just kind of running around at the base. Machine shop now going down after a single vulture being produced for Mind. So NaDa, yeah, does in fact know that that expansion's down, whereas Mind does not. And as you can see, it looks like on the minimap there's a couple. Uh, Something wandering out in the middle of the field. I'm wondering if it's just SCVs for scouting. Tank being produced in the meantime by NaDa. And so it's interesting that single vulture obviously going to be able to kill the scout, but really I think he wanted that out to kill the scout a lot earlier. Not to say it's a waste at this point, but definitely going to be a little bit behind as you get the tank versus vulture. It's not going to make that big a difference at the moment though.
Yeah, I really don't see Mind or NaDa really rushing at this point. I mean, you can obviously tell because they took the naturals outside their bases, they're playing for a long-term macro game. They want to try to keep their naturals in the expansions inside their base, I guess you would call those back entrance expansions. They want to save those for later. And obviously those are a little bit easier to tank from I believe you can tank them from across the cliff, can't you?
I haven't seen it happen yet. What usually ends up happening is you'll see a drop end up back there, and that's really I feel like the larger vulnerability is drop ships very easily can float in there. I think you can tank that from the 9 o'clock or inside 9 o'clock, inside 3 o'clock mineral expansion. You can tank across into the base. I don't think they reached quite to that protected secondary though.
And we can see just some Terran macro going on. And we can see a wall, or sort of a semi-wall going up. I guess that's to help to prevent vulture bikes from just rushing past down into the SCV line.
Going with the vulture bikes again. Shame.
I'm sorry. I swear it's not because of tasteless. I've been saying it ever since I was a kid.
It is proper. It's just whatever standard nomenclature.
Old Trap's gonna rip me one for it. We see Armory going down for NaDa there.
He's just of the ilk where it's like they're not bikes. See, they're floating. Anyway,
there's no two wheels. I get it. I know.
As you can see, SCV managing to scooch by. It doesn't look like it's going to be able to get a scout. It's just going to check out the bottom right-hand corner.
Run, Bob!
Yeah, run! I don't think it's going to end up taking that expansion. All that it just really wouldn't be viable to take that expansion. 3 tanks and 3 vultures out in the meantime. It looks like NaDa is going to do a quick push here with 3 vulture, 3 tank on 3 vulture, 3 tank action, and Wraith being produced in the background for Mind, and it looks like a starport, and also Wraith going to be produced backside. A couple Goliaths out as well. That's interesting. Do you think they're just going to end up using the Wraiths for scouting, or are they going to use it for a little bit? We saw actually, I was talking about, I think it was on Katrina, that Flash really used it with a couple mines out there from NaDa just to make sure that he can check on when Mind is moving out. But he just used that Wraith for basically kind of cliff detection, things like that, very effectively on Katrina, although it looks like he's just pushing it out and going to do some scouting here. Still no Wraith being produced on NaDa's side, so very interesting that, and you can tell, it just shows you how much these players have learned from one another, that their style is almost identical, although I feel like Mind has a little bit more, especially you could see from game 1, that his macro management is just a little bit higher than NaDa's, and I think that's what plays the difference in this matchup.
Oh!
Ooh, mind clearing. That poor Marine.
No. Oh, but Goliath, quick on the gun finger there. Guns that not mine before it goes anywhere. So we can see now that Mind is kind of on the move. I'm not quite sure if he's expansion hunting or if he's just mine clearing at the moment.
I think he is thinking about taking that inside, at least securing that inside 9 o'clock expansion, making sure that NaDa doesn't end up getting a cliffside advantage there.
We can see some drops from NaDa.
Yeah. I don't know if he knows that Wraith is out in the field, and I really feel like I really like it when players produce that single Wraith just to be annoying against that. The problem though is oftentimes you'll lose that Wraith if they can if they can dump their Goliaths quickly enough. But at least you can push off a lot of drops that way, and they're pretty good for scouting. And also you can kind of fly them in the base. Not at this point obviously because there's a lot of Goliaths out in the field, but looks like actually we're going to see. Looks like Mind is got a dropship out as well. I don't think it has anything in it, but it looks like it's heading towards the north there on the minimap.
Loading up some Goliaths there.
Yeah, he's going to go dropship hunting. I think that might have been spotted out by those mines there. I'm not sure though. Wish we had the first-person view on that, but it doesn't look like we're going to get it. Those tanks absolutely butchering that SCV right there, and now pushing in. So this is going to be interesting because that dropship is alongside a larger force, so I don't think he's going to really be able to hunt. Maybe he'll be able to get in the base. Maybe he'll catch it out in the field. We'll see.
And it looks like Mind has been prevented from expanding because of a spider mine there. I almost said mine got prevented by a mine, but Mind got prevented by a mine, and we can also see that NaDa is also taking his expansion there on the high ground.
It's interesting that they're taking the outside expansion instead of worrying about their protected secondaries, and I guess they're really doing that because I've seen it where it cost other players, where they ended up losing that inside 3 o'clock or that inside 9 o'clock position-wise, where I remember a game with Flash where I can't remember who he's playing, but basically he set up a big tank ridge right there and could basically shell reinforcements that are trying to go to that protected expansion, and it kind of split the opposing player basically inside their own base. So being very careful here, I guess really wanting to hold that ground and going to kind of extend themselves out there as it is. But interesting maneuver. 2 dropships out here for NaDa now. Looks like they managed to scoot by. I don't think they were spot. They're going to dump into the natural expansion, but again, nothing's there, so not going to be all that.
Well, there's an there, and it's going to spot him.
Yeah. And I think NaDa, as soon as he went in there and realized there's nothing there, he's going to come back around, and that's another advantage of taking that inside.
We can see Mind doing the same NaDa here. Yeah.
It looks like he's a big clear shot at the SCV line as well as the supply in the back, and he could do a lot of damage here, dropping those tanks all behind, going to siege him up. Those SCVs being pulled off, so Mind getting the first strike here.
I
Ooh,
agree. NaDa unwittingly just made Mind a perfect wall there. You got the supply depots and the mineral lines providing a very good wall for Mind's forces there.
unfortunate, and he's going to be able to pick off a couple dropships here as well of Nada's. That's so big advantage for Mind up front. Going to be able, even though this is getting wiped out, he managed to disrupt that supply line, managed to get Nada's dropships, and in the meantime, just really halted Nada's production at this point. It's just little things like that can win you the game, especially at this high level.
I don't know which one's which. They both look the same to me. One's got
Racist.
glasses, one doesn't.
Racist. Anyway,
Sorry.
two more dropships out in the meantime. Three more dropships coming in. Did Mind actually lose any dropships in the last attack, or is he
Oh,
just
he
picking
actually
up?
retreated them all before they got hit. And NaDa being a little careless with those sea chinks there, leaving them unsupported.
Oof, and I think the what he was planning to use for support was in the dropships before. Let's see if Mind will once again be able to pick some of these dropships off. It doesn't look like it. Good reinforcements by NaDa. It looks like he had a man. Maybe he saved more dropships than I thought because he really did a good job of resupplying that troop, managing to save that drop. He almost lost that inside 3 o'clock position, which again, as I was saying, can be absolutely vital on this map.
Yes,
It
but
looks like Mind
NaDa
is
had to sacrifice a lot of his SCVs to try to stall that attack long enough for him to get reinforcements. He lost
yeah.
about 6 or 7 SCVs there.
So Mind really on the well. First of all, might lose that barracks there, but really going to be able to shell the gas as well. That's huge. Going to be able to delay that third gas and all that really matters in Terran versus Terran at this point is usually gas. Wow, getting really greedy with that expansion right there. And now that Mind is up one gas, really he was already at an advantage with that initial drop and taking even bigger advantage right now. Taking that gas down. So basically, Nod is kind of on the defensive, just has to absorb Mind's attacks until he really secures his position.
Yeah, we can see that both Mind and NaDa are taking their secured expansions now. I think that's an expansioner going up there inside of NaDa's base. It's got that purple blob there. And NaDa coming in now with a drop right on top of Mind's forces that were shelling his expansion. He wants to really secure his third gas, and so he drops some forces in there in a nice execution and clears them out. He's going to probably retake that refinery here pretty soon.
Unfortunately, I think that even though we retook that position, I think Mind is already, see, as you can see, ready to do another drop here. It's coming to the north, so we might be thinking about dumping on the natural expansion or at least securing the 12 o'clock for himself. Because usually these long-term Terran games, that 12 o'clock expansion. Oh, by the way, guys, at 15-minute, we're going to have a little bit of a hiccup because the way we're recording this, it only records for every 15 minutes. So if at 15 minutes, we get a quick dump and stop out, that's why. So if you hear a hiccup, that's why. But it looks like Mind stopping up short, a couple of those Goliaths and those tanks spotting it out. And usually, you need that drop to be an absolute surprise. Otherwise, they can quickly get reinforcements out of their dropships and into the other base. More dropships being produced. I'm surprised we haven't seen a second starport out of any of the guys to try to push that advantage. Engineering bay going down as well. Get some turrets up to try to put on, kind of be defensive minded. And it looks like both players have. It looks like Mind a little bit ahead as far as getting that secondary up and putting some turrets in the background as well.
And we can see NaDa taking the bottom right expansion as well. So he's getting a little bit greedy here. We'll see if Mind can find that expansion. If he finds that expansion, he'll be able to shut that down right now pretty effectively because NaDa is he's stretched thin. You can see he's in the middle of the map and he's got his forces patrolling between the north and the south. He's just got too much ground to cover right now. He just does not have enough troops.
Yeah, he's just, man, and I don't know that Mind has comm set up. And the question is also that X factor. I don't know if that Wraith got taken down. If that Wraith decides to approach to the south, you can see Nod is just he's kind of patrolling back and forth. He wants to make sure he can react to wherever Mind is going as rapidly as possible. Mind, in the meantime, looks like he's thinking more about that 12 o'clock and that 6 o'clock position. He looks like he's expanding the upper left-hand corner as well. Yeah, they're showing on the minimap right here. He's trying to set up, and he's thinking more about the long-term game, taking both the 12 o'clock and denying the 6 o'clock or vice versa. It's kind of hard to defend both simultaneously. And it looks like an SCV did get taken out, so I'm not sure if the SCV halted or it was taken out in the meantime. NaDa, I really don't think he can defend both positions. Really, I feel like Mind could send dropships to the bottom right-hand corner and attack right up the main, vice versa. And I'm not sure that there's anything NaDa could do about it.
Now we can see that Mind is actually going to push to the bottom right, and we see those dropships actually going north, so he might be doing exactly what you're saying, Diggity. He could be just doing a feint on one position and hitting the other, because we can see those dropships flying. Last I saw, they were flying north.
Yeah, usually what we try to do with the dropship, yeah, is get the players to commit one direction with their forces, and then try to drop at another location. As you can see, Nada quickly stopping what's happening at the 6 o'clock location. But let's see if Mind is counter-reacting by going someplace else. Actually, no, it looks like he's just going to try to secure the 6 o'clock position, play a little bit more defensively, and try to. He's kind of trying to secure that ramp basically, so Nada can't has to
Okay, we're
dedicate
having
time.
hiccup in 3 seconds.
Okay, 3 seconds. Okay, welcome back. Sorry about that audio hiccup. It just happens to do. But anyway, as you can see, he's just trying. Mind is just trying to secure that ramp location, so that the only way that NaDa can reinforce is with these dropships. As you can see, NaDa very quickly trying to get the dropships unloaded at that position, so he can get those dropships back in the field for some static defense. And let's see if he actually decides to kind of clip. Yeah, and a turret's already actually up there at the 12 o'clock location. But yeah, as you can see, setting up in a defensive position. But really, I feel like that's kind of opened up to Mind. If Mind decides to take that, really he could, and really Mind completely on the offense. It looks like he has 7 dropships up to. It looks like has one more dropship actually only. I thought it was a little bit higher than that, but in the meantime, yeah, I feel like Mind is basically, as far as in his positioning, he controls the 12 o'clock, he controls the 6 o'clock location, and long term, that's really going to play out, and he's going to end up winning as a result of that.
Yeah, right now though, we can see that NaDa and Mine have most of their forces inside of dropships, and if one player can catch the other player's dropships unawares and take out those
Oh, here we
dropships, that
go.
would be a
Yeah.
huge blow to either player if those dropships just accidentally wander into the wrong force. We can see that Light has a lot more dropships than NaDa does. I think he has 2 or 3 dropships more. We can count here. Yeah, he has a lot more dropships. That's got to be a ton of resources invested in there. And NaDa is still just patrolling between his northern border and his southern border. I don't even know if he's aware of all those turrets up there. I don't think he even realizes that Mind, I'm sorry, is preparing a push. And you can see a lot of siege tanks and a lot of SCVs pushing up towards the 12 o'clock just to secure that. But Mind could easily push out of the 12 and into his natural expansion there.
And this is definitely the kind of the game that Mind absolutely loves. He loves being kind of in a controlled position where he has map control and he just absorbs the attacks. And you can see actually 2 more armories going down in a physics lab. So NaDa already thinking about going battle cruisers early, and that's going to be interesting because if he goes battle, and Mind in the meantime dropping all over the bottom right hand corner, like I was saying earlier, able to take out a lot of SCVs there. And this is going to commit those dropships at the bottom right hand corner. 1 dropship down already, and yeah, that's really. This is the thing: is NaDa has to make something happen, and it's going to be difficult to make something happen when he's behind economically and he just doesn't have map position. But it looks like he's putting down that extra armor and as well as getting the physics labs. So he's planning on switching to battle cruisers really quick, and that could, I don't know about that maneuver because he's behind economically first of all, and additionally he doesn't entirely control that bottom right hand corner. He's kind of relying on that to stay up. That Mind won't commit to the bottom right hand corner, and also that Mind won't catch that and shift faster. It looks like as you can see, getting the starports down now, and actually at a fairly vulnerable position, in my opinion. We'll see if that plays out. We'll see if Mind starts shifting as well. I'm not sure if he has ComSat yet. He does have ComSat building right now across the board. He's going to ComSat and probably be able to produce more battle cruisers faster, in my opinion, just because, as you can see, he's got that 12 o'clock expansion. He has the option of the 6 o'clock expansion, and he's harassed NaDa across the board, and I think he can commit another attack to delay more gas on NaDa. He's starting to push up on the natural secondary in the meantime.
And one thing that I really commend Mine for doing in the bottom right corner with that drop that he did just a little while ago, he had his Goliath down first, and I think it was more of a trick to lure NaDa's dropships there because as soon as those dropships arrived on the scene, he targeted nothing but NaDa's dropships, and he took down 3 of them, I think. And of course, you can see Light's dropships are still up and running just fine. He has, I think, almost a whole control group of them. So he's really cutting down NaDa's mobility of trying to get around the map while upping his own mobility to get around the map. And we can see that as he's pushing up the middle there into NaDa's expansion, he's got his dropships in reserve because he realizes that NaDa doesn't have enough forces there in the middle to really hold it. So he's probably figuring that NaDa is preparing for a drop. I don't think he has any idea that those battle cruisers are coming. Oh no, he must have ComSatted. There goes down 4 starports.
He's got 4 starports. The question is he gonna commit Wraith, or is he gonna commit at this point, or is he gonna commit command? Or I'm sorry, is he gonna go with battle cruisers? Yeah, battle cruiser. Looks like a couple SCVs getting worked right there. Keep in mind also, it looked like Mind was up 2-0 as far as upgrades went. I wasn't positive. Hopefully we'll get a spot here in just a second. We'll be able to see what the upgrades are at. But it looked like one player was up. I'm gonna assume that might have been NaDa who was up as far as the weapons upgrade 2-1, simply because I think he had the science facility down earlier because he was planning on going battlecruisers quite a bit faster. But really, when it comes down to Wraith versus battlecruiser, multiple times I've seen Wraith end up winning just because of the more maneuverable unit. And again, I still feel like wow. And this is what I was worried about. Those starports at a very vulnerable position. As you can see, Mind pushing up. He does have. It looks like Mind is ahead as far as upgrades go, taking down one starport and pushing up on the rest. And yeah, this is what I was worried about, is that NaDa just would not be able to hold this, that his starports would go down before they're even at full production. It looks like Mind, in fact, is thinking about going battlecruisers as well. As you can see, I don't know where his science facility is, but he's getting down the starports. He would have just left them otherwise if he was going to go for Wraith. NaDa in a lot of trouble here, getting basically what his one shot was to get out of this game, starting to get stomped right here.
Yeah, we can see that NaDa being a little foolish here with his dropships. This is what I was warning you about earlier. He wasn't paying attention to his dropships, and they got caught. Look, all those dropships get taken out except for two. Two just barely managed to escape, and that's exactly what I was talking about earlier. You got to be careful with your dropships. If you have them on patrol, if you just forget about them for a second, you're going to lose them all. And that was a good play by Mind there, taking out all those dropships. So now we can see Mind still has a huge group of dropships of his own, and he's probably going to be pushing from a third area, or from a second area. We can see he has one push going up the middle to the natural. He's got the push there where those starports are. I wouldn't be surprised if he has another dropship force land a force somewhere else and start pushing another expansion just to keep NaDa busy and prevent him from spending resources on those battle cruisers.
I gotta disagree with you on one point. I think he was just actually literally expending those dropships to one free up Psy and switch over to battlecruisers. Since he's already committed to battlecruisers, he doesn't really need the dropships anymore in general. I think he was just trying to use them to spot for the tanks. But in the meantime, it looks like the Mind's actually significantly behind. I'm surprised he's still going with battlecruisers. NaDa already has two up, even though he's lost those two command centers. Oh, huge shot going to the bottom right corner, and it only two tanks to defending. And once Mind realizes there's only those two tanks, he's just wow. Looks like this is what I was talking about earlier. I think NaDa is going to end up losing this bottom right hand expansion. He was just relying that this would hold up in the meantime, because now essentially he's down to two producing bases: his inside natural protected expansion and this offset 9 o'clock, which is really being, or offset 3 o'clock, I'm sorry, which is being pressed in right now. And it's going to be hard to maintain any sort of, and as you can see, Mind quickly getting up he realizes those dropships are down from earlier, quickly putting down turrets to make sure that Mind can't really, or I'm sorry, that NaDa can't immediately come back and retake that. So NaDa in a lot of trouble. He's as you can see, his main, all those SCVs just sitting around. He's only got really two expansions, and he's going complete battlecruiser and is getting dominated economically in the meantime. Pushing up with the battlecruisers now, just trying to retake that very quickly. But yeah, the damage has been done, in my opinion. This is going to give Mind plenty of time to get a larger battlecruiser force out. And it doesn't look like
he's see another drop coming in here.
Oh, going to drop all over it here. All over the starports. And just, yeah, things not going well for NaDa. There's GG. Oh, so it looks like NaDa going to lose game 2. So Mind going up 2-0. Yeah, so another dual commentary with Cyreaver and Diggity. First time I think I've done a duel. Yeah, this is the first time I've done it with Cyreaver. Special thanks to him. And thanks for listening, guys.